Hi friend, welcome to A Garden and a Bible Farm. I am Adeola and I am so happy that you clicked on this video. Welcome to A Garden and a Bible Farm and our YouTube channel. I'm so excited to get this channel started. I have been procrastinating for a very long time to start this YouTube channel for one reason or another. However, the time has fully come. You know when they say, you'll know when it's time, or you'll know when something feels right. It's time and it feels right, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. I'm so excited to take you on this journey with you. So of course I don't want to make this intro video too long. However, I do want to introduce myself to you, tell you what I'm going to be doing on this channel, the types of videos, the types of content videos that I will be creating for you, and what I hope to gain and what I hope you gain as well. Alright, so I'm a new gardener. I just recently started gardening on this homestead in 2020 after years of wanting to be a gardener. I never in a million years would have thought that I would love doing something like this. Initially, I just wanted to have something so small like a balcony garden, which I never did, which I never started. But when my husband and I moved to this property here in Southern Maryland, I knew it was time. I knew it was time for me to just go full force into planting my seeds, sowing the seeds. Gardening has come to me and for me at a time of my life where I needed God the most. I'm going through my own personal challenge, as we all are, and I knew that I needed God the most. And so as I began to think of what am I going to call this property, what am I going to call my homestead, what am I going to call my farm, I knew that I wanted to have a garden, and I knew I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted to grow not only vegetables that my husband and I and our family could eat. I knew I wanted to grow flowers. I wanted it to be beautiful. So I knew it was going to be a garden-esque type of feel. So I knew I had a garden, but something that I also knew that I had, which I thoroughly love, is the Bible. And hence the name, A Garden and a Bible Farm. God is so faithful, you guys, and that is what I want to show on this channel. I want to show how God is teaching me how to steward this land that He has given us, that He has given my family, even in the depths of whatever pain we may be feeling. Listen, the seed that you have in your hand needs to be planted. It needs the actual proper environment in order for it to germinate. I can be looking at a tomato seed all day, every day. I can be looking at my carrot seeds or my flower seeds all day, every day. But if I don't plant them and put them into the soil for them to actually be able to bring forth their fruit, it will never do so. And so God was teaching me through the name of this particular farm, A Garden and a Bible Farm, that I'm going to teach you further, young lady. I'm going to teach you who I really am and how I actually work. Even in the midst of setback, even in the midst of delays, even in the midst of disappointments, even in the midst of your hurt, in the midst of your pain, in the midst of your agony, your turmoil, whatever word you want to use, even in that midst, I'm going to teach you how great of a father I am. I'm going to teach you that when you trust me to place that seed into the soil, how I'm going to beautify not only the landscape that you have, but your life through these fruits, through these plants. And that is what God has been doing ever since I've started planting early last year. He has been teaching me so much, and I want to start teaching it and sharing it with you. That is the nature of this channel. This channel is going to be a vlog type of teaching channel where I'm not only going to do tutorials and teach you and show you and tell you how to plant your garden and the seasons in which you need to plant certain seeds and how much water to give it, how much light to give it. I'm not only going to do that, but I'm going to show you and teach you the depths of God's love through the actual garden. And I hope that you're ready to be on this ride with me, because you guys, it's one interesting ride. It's one awesome ride. Last year, I planted okra for the first time. In fact, everything that I planted last year was for the first time in my life that I've ever planted anything. And so I planted an okra seed, and actually I planted 2 okra seeds, but you know, when they tell you that you have to get to a point where you have to cut the plant and make sure that you separate the weaker one and let the stronger one grow, I couldn't bring myself to doing that. So I allowed 2 seeds to grow in one pot. But I knew that when I took it into the garden, there was no way that it was going to be able to grow that way. So I separated those plants. I separated those plants one from the other. And it took a very long time for them to take off. They refused for weeks to take off, and I was so worried that did I destroy it? Did I destroy the roots of these plants? I was just learning, and I was wondering that had I done something that I should not have done. Every day that I would go into the garden, I would say to myself, I'm going to take this plant out. I'm going to just remove these 2 plants out. I'm going to remove them, and one started growing, but the other one wouldn't grow. So I was like, okay, for sure, I'm going to take this one out. But every time I would say it, for whatever reason, it would escape my mind. Until one day, I went into the garden, minding my business, doing what I do in my garden, picking my cherry tomatoes and picking my flowers and doing other things. I noticed that this okra plant that was taking so long to grow, that refused to grow when I wanted it to grow, had sprouted up. It had completely overshadowed all other plants in the garden. And I was amazed. And I now ask myself, what is God actually trying to teach me here? And he taught me a lesson, which actually is about my life. That even if you don't see the actual fruit when you want to see it, it doesn't mean that it's not coming. Even though other people have gone through a certain season in their life that you expect to have gone through as well, maybe because you're age mates, or maybe you finished university at the same time, you got married at the same time, you got hired at the same time, so you're expecting to start having children at the same time, you're expected to get the promotion at the same time, you're expecting to get that job at the same time, you're expecting to buy that car at the same time. That's not how it works. My mother would always tell me, and she still tells me till today, that fingers are not equal. When somebody's sun rises, that's their season. That doesn't mean that your sun also won't rise. It just has to happen at the right time. The Holy Bible tells us in the book of Ecclesiastes that there's a time and season for everything. Just as there's a time and season for these plants that you see behind me, or the one in my larger garden that's growing, there's a time for carrots to grow. There's a time for tomatoes to grow. There's a time for eggplant to grow. There's a time for okra to grow. There's a time for spinach to grow. But that doesn't mean that they won't grow if you're not planting them in their right season. Just to the left of me, I have some lettuce leaves and some spinach and arugula and Swiss chard. And at the beginning of this year, they were growing, they were thriving. But when the heat came, the heat literally bolted them and made them to stop growing. That was not the right season for them. But now, I haven't done anything to these plants, but now what's happening, as the temperature is cooling down where I am in Southern Maryland, they're beginning to sprout out. They're beginning to sprout up. And that is how life works. And that's what I want to share with us, all of us in this garden. I want this gardening community to be a real community. I don't want to just be a teacher, because by profession I'm a teacher, and so I'm going to teach forever. I'm always going to teach and find a way to teach people around me, because that's what God has called me to do. And that is what he's called me to do on this channel, is to be a teacher and to be an encourager and to be someone who passes along the message that he has for all of us. But I want it to be a loving community where we teach each other, where I teach you and you also teach me. I'm the one that has the channel, yes. I put out the videos, I edit the videos, but I want us all to learn. I want us all to grow. Just as our plants are growing, just as the food that we're growing, I want us to grow and to be fed, not only physically, but also spiritually. So we're going to have these vlog videos, these vlog style tutorial teaching videos, whichever name you want to give it, where I'm not only sharing how to plant your seed, but I'm sharing how I'm planting it and bringing out a lesson out of it. And then I also will have dedicated devotional videos where I will take probably a plant or a seed or something in the garden, and we're going to look at what is it that God is teaching us through this. What does he want us to know? I'm so excited to have this channel started. It's been long overdue. I've been procrastinating and focusing on other things, but God has been putting it on my heart that I need to get this thing out. There are people who are waiting for this content. There are people who are desperate not only to learn about gardening and planting, which are all great things, but God wants us to steward the land that he has given us. That is my biggest goal, is to steward the land that he has given me, but at the same time to teach his word and to proclaim his word to all of us, including myself and my household and my family, so that we can continue to become the individuals that God has called us to become. See, friend, I'm so happy that you are here. I'm so happy that you are here. And I'm grateful that God has given each and every one of us the love of gardening. And if you don't have a garden as big as mine, that is okay. You can have a balcony or a patio just like this with containers. It doesn't have to be in the ground. You don't have to have 30 acres or 20 acres or 10 acres or even 1 acre. You just have to have the desire, the passion to get the container, to put the soil in, and to plant the seed. And I can promise you, as you're watching the seed sprout and grow, as you open up your mind and open up your heart, God will minister to you. He will minister something to you as long as you're willing to listen to it and accept it. And my goal and desire is that when He shares whatever He shares with you, that you will share with us as well. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I pray that this gardening channel, A Garden in a Bible Farm, will bless you and your life, bless you and your household. And until next time, may the earth yield its increase in your life and in your garden. God bless you.